Back here at Campus Insiders in my favorite room in the building, the lunch room. Got a couple of my best friends behind me chatting it up. I got the most important guy in the room next to me, Seth.
We busted the budget. We got extras back here, so it costs. Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
We'll figure it out. But we're talking college basketball, the team that everyone's going to be talking about this coming season, the Kentucky Wildcats. Heavily loaded with that front line. Harrison twins return. So the question I pose to you, my man, the 2014-2015 Kentucky Wildcats team or the championship team from 2012, who's better?
Well, I think you do any better than winning a championship. So if we're starting from right now, I'll take Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist because they ended up cutting down the nets. Now this team, this next season could very well do that, but they haven't done it yet. You still have to mix in returning veterans with incoming freshmen. It's pretty amazing, I think, that Kentucky could put a team, a first five on the floor that doesn't even include a single freshman. That's how loaded they're going to be. The freshman class coming in next year, not quite as good as the one that came in this year and got to the final game, but like I said, you can't do any better than winning a championship, so I'll go with 0-12.
I mean, when you talk about the Kentucky team, you talk about beef, like my double cheeseburger right here. That front line is huge. I went out and said, Seth, I believe this is the best front line coming into college basketball that'll step on the floor in the history of the game, I believe, just because of the depth.
History. The history of the game. Here we go again. Last year's recruiting class was supposed to be the best of all time.
I agree.
Not in the history of the game.
You have Willie Cauley-Stein coming off the bench. You have Marcus Lee coming off the bench. If I'm a head coach and I have them at my starting five, I believe I'm going to win the national title because of that talent. These are reserves. Trey Lyles is going to be a stud at that power forward position. You've got Dakari Johnson, who's proven. The Harrison twins are the variable. What kind of guards are they going to be? But when you look at the inside, they're just going to beat people up.
So if I could give you for the next year's NCAA tournament, barring health and injuries and all that, Kentucky or the field, who would you take? I am. If you had to bet that double cheeseburger, whatever you got there, Kentucky or the field?
I would say this. I would say I'm a big believer in your alum. Okay. I think Duke is right there on the cusp because of the talent they have coming in Okafor, and I think Suleiman's going to be really good this year. But I think you got to go with Kentucky. They showed that cream rises to the top, and yeah, heavy lies the crown, but I think this team is a team that you should put that crown on because I think by the time it gets to late February, early March, they'll put it together. They'll clearly be the best team, and I think it's going to be because of that front line.
I just think you can name any team, especially in today's era of college basketball, any team versus the field. Just because of the nature of the NCAA tournament, I'm taking the field. You're talking about one team.
Well, that's a safe play.
Well, it's a smart play.
If I put this fork to your head and I said, which one would you pick?
I would always take the field over any team. So that's what I'm saying. Like you're comparing this team to a team that won. And here's the other
Kentucky. Will Kentucky win the national championship?
I would say yes, but again, if you asked me to bet Kentucky or the field, I would always take the field. Here's another question for you. You're talking about the best front line in history. Is anybody on Kentucky next year as good as Anthony Davis?
They don't have a star power, but the sum of all parts, this is a more talented team. There's more NBA prospects on this 2014,
okay, but you know what? Give me one Anthony Davis versus, and that's also part of the question.
Four bigs compared to Anthony Davis trump the talent of Anthony Davis. Those four bigs, Lee, Towns, I think Dakari Johnson. I think you have Marcus Lee. I think those four guys.
If you took Anthony Davis and Ray Crawford, and you put them on the court, that'd still be one of the best front courts in the country, right? You play with Anthony Davis, right? Why? Because Anthony Davis is there. You can't do any better. You can't do any better than winning the championship. So unless this team's going to go undefeated, which you don't think they're going to do,
I would never say that. I'm crazy, not that crazy.
So I'll go with the 0-12s. I like the bird in the hand. I don't lightly bet a double cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? You got to really think about it. Kentucky or the field? I'm going with the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Davis, a man of the people. Keep it locked in. CampusInsiders.com. Got the man, Seth Davis.